Hello everyone, welcome back to the editorial analysis and daily answer writing at 9 p.m. I'm Mohana Priya, faculty at Officers IAS Academy. If you're here for the first time, I would kindly request you to go and watch the introduction video in this playlist to know more about this program and also to know how to participate in this daily answer writing initiative. So without any delay, let us get into the topic of discussion today, which is with regard to the melting of Arctic ice. This topic has been comprehensively covered in many editorial sections of multiple newspapers, so we are going to discuss this with a UPSC point of view. Arctic region, as we all know, is a unique ecosystem found in the northern pole with permanently frozen ice and snow. And according to the NASA, it has been observed that this Arctic region is losing its sea ice at the rate of about 12% per decade, and it has also been observed that since 1970s, about 40% of Arctic sea ice has been lost. And at this rate, it is predicted that by mid-century, we would experience our first ice-free Arctic day, that is a day when completely all the ice in the Arctic region would have completely melted. Now, the primary cause for all this is a phenomenon called Arctic amplification. What is this Arctic amplification? It has been observed that the temperature in the Arctic region is warming the Arctic region by about twice the rate compared to the other regions in the mid-latitudes. So now we are going to discuss in detail about this phenomenon of Arctic amplification. So first let us start with the causes that is resulting in the rapid melting of ice sheets in the Arctic region. The most prominent cause of this phenomenon is the concept of global warming. What is this global warming? It is the increase in the average global temperature which is caused due to the rapid increase in the concentration of greenhouse gases. Post-industrial revolution, anthropogenic activities have released increased amount of greenhouse gases which has trapped more and more heat resulting in the warming of the earth. And this warming of the earth is contributing to the melting of ice sheets in the Arctic region. Now, this phenomenon of global warming is contributing to multiple impacts which is accelerating this process of rapid melting of ice sheets in the Arctic region. One major impact is the loss of albedo effect. Ice sheets, the white colored snow and ice sheets contribute a major part to keeping the planet cooler because they reflect the maximum amount of insolation rather than absorption. Now, when we lose these ice sheets, it means that more amount of land surfaces and darker ocean regions are getting exposed to insolation. This is further going to contribute to increased absorption of insolation, further heating up the earth. And apart from this, global warming has also resulted in increased sea surface temperature and frequent marine heat wave conditions resulting in the warming of oceans. When oceans warm, when the sea surface temperature increases, it will further contribute to rapid melting of ice sheets and glaciers found on the top of the ocean. And apart from this, global warming has also impacted the climatic patterns around the world. One such impact is the weakening of jet streams. Due to the weakening of jet streams, it is observed that warm air mass from the subtropical region is easily entering the polar regions, further attributing to this rapid melting of glaciers and ice sheets. The next major factor is due to the increased air pollution, particles such as black carbon, which is also known as soot, it is going and depositing on the layer of ice sheets in the Arctic region. When this black carbon or soot deposits on this layer of ice sheets, it will start absorbing more amount of heat energy rather than heat energy getting reflected. So this is again going to result in an increase in temperature, contributing to the melting of glaciers and ice sheets in the Arctic region. So now let us go and discuss about the impacts which this is going to cause. The rapid melting of Arctic sea ice is going to have unbelievable catastrophic impacts. The first major impact of this rapid melting of Arctic sea ice is the increase in the sea level. The sea level rise is a major threat to the coastal cities as it can lead to the phenomenon of coastal erosion. As we already discussed, this rapid melting of ice sheets is exposing darker regions of land and darker ocean regions to the insolation, which results in more heat absorption. So this increase in temperature is going to cause the increase in the sea surface temperature, which can result in more amount of hurricanes and cyclonic activities. And not only that, the intensity of the cyclones can also be very, very high. And the second impact because of the increased ocean warming is that it is going to have a major impact in the ocean currents circulation. We have a phenomenon called Atlantic meridional overturning circulation, which carries the warm water from the equator towards the poles and brings the cold water from the polar regions back towards the equator. This Atlantic meridional overturning circulation, which is an important part of the ocean current circulation, is going to be impacted, and due to which the temperature redistribution across the earth is also going to be affected. An increase in the ocean warming can also lead to the phenomenon of ocean acidification, because now the ocean is warmed and we have more amount of heat energy which is getting trapped due to the increase in the CO2 concentration. Now, due to the melting of ice sheets, there is a direct contact between the seawater and the oceans, which increases the absorption of carbon dioxide, resulting in lowering of pH of the oceans, contributing to the phenomenon of ocean acidification. Other major impacts of this melting of ice sheets in the Arctic region can be release of the stored methane, which is also a potent greenhouse gas which will further contribute to increased trapping of heat energy. And apart from this, the melting of Arctic ice sheets can expose the stored viruses and bacteria which were subsided in that particular region millions of years ago, resulting in a major pandemic-like situation in the near future. And apart from this, other impacts of this concept of melting of Arctic ice is that it can affect the climatic patterns around the world, and it is also observed that the melting of Arctic ice is having a direct impact in the Indian monsoon system, because it is influencing and disturbing the pattern of jet streams, which play a crucial role in the Indian monsoon system. And apart from this, one another impact of this rapid melting of ice sheets is that it is acting as a major threat to the Arctic wildlife. The Arctic wildlife is a huge ecosystem, and if that Arctic wildlife is going to be impacted, it can affect the major food chain and food webs across the globe. So, having discussed the impacts of the rapid melting of Arctic ice, let us quickly go and discuss about the measures and steps that can be taken in order to resolve this issue. The first focus has to be on reduction of greenhouse gases, because reducing the greenhouse gases is going to lower the phenomenon of global warming, that is by lowering the global average temperature, and this can be done by cutting down the emissions of greenhouse gases as well as switching to alternate options like renewable energy. And other initiative that can be taken is to focus on forums like Arctic Council, which refers to the group of countries around the Arctic region to ensure that the Arctic region is protected and preserved. We have to bring strict regulations with regard to the commercial exploitation which is happening in the Arctic region because of the melting of ice sheets. The melting of ice sheets is resulting and paving new routes for ships, commercial ships and commercial exploitation to happen in that region, which has to be strictly regulated. And next, we have to focus on technologies like carbon capture, which is going to result in capturing of carbon dioxide, reducing the amount of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere, contributing to lowering of this greenhouse gas effect. And at last, we have to focus on more scientific research and innovation to tackle this problem. On the whole, we observe that coordinated effort from all the countries is required to solve this problem, because this is not a problem restricted to one single country. So global efforts are needed. And apart from that, we as individuals can contribute to the phenomenon of global warming to reduce its impact by small contributions like switching off the unnecessary fans and lights in our houses, switching to alternate modes of transport like public transport when you travel to short distances. So small initiatives can definitely make a huge difference. So we have had an overall discussion about this topic of melting of Arctic ice. So based on this discussion, I'm going to give you a question today. Explain the phenomenon of Arctic amplification and its implications for global climate change. This is a 10-mark question for which you will be expected to write an answer in 150 words. So we'll meet you again all in yet another interesting discussion. So until then, keep following this series and make use of this initiative to score well in your mains examination. All the best.